Nicole, and I am so happy that you're here today. Today's flow is a little different than my previous flows, mostly because I don't want to do yoga today. And it doesn't extend to just yoga, it extends to kind of everything. I today am feeling very jostled, very unstable, very insecure, and because of that, I am saying, hey, I probably need to take my body through breath and movement that feels stable and secure and grounding, because I feel kind of uprooted, that's the word I'm looking for, at the moment. So in terms of this class and what to expect, 20-25 minutes max, and what we're really going to focus on today is arriving to our mats with no expectations, no judgments, which we almost always focus on when we do yoga, but we're going to do it even more so than normal, and allowing ourselves to be fully present in these grounding movements. We're going to stay seated in supine and laying on the mat today, so you won't need any props. You're more than welcome to have some blocks or a strap if you would like, but you won't necessarily need them for today's practice. I was influenced for this practice by my own feelings of discomfort, by my own feelings of uncertainty, and just really wanting to ground myself and feel that grounding power. So that's what today's flow is. And again, only 20-25 minutes. Because when my mind isn't really feeling it, I want to show up as much as I can. And I know that if I commit to just a little bit of time, that I can make it happen, I can do it and see what happens. Usually, when you start doing something, like cleaning, Marie Kondo says, for 10 minutes, you don't want to stop cleaning after that. And that's kind of the same idea that I'm using for today's flow. Once I start, I know it's going to feel good. I hope it feels great for you too. In terms of theming, the theme for today is grounding, which is a popular one for me. I'm a Capricorn, I'm an earth sign, but more so when you don't want to do anything, when everything's kind of chaotic around you and you just need a couple minutes to center and for self. This is for you, because I need it too. We all do every now and then. So you can apply this to so many things. In tarot, the Hermit, we're going to do a little hermit flow, if you want to call it that, and that's really just spiritually coming to self, doing a check-in, and saying, okay, I'm not having a great time today, but how can I take care of myself still? How can I still show up? And this is a way that we can still show up for our mental, physical, spiritual, and intellectual bodies by just knowing that we can ground. Like trees, like nature, everything does it. Everything needs to ground. If it's not doing it all the time, it needs to do it every now and then. I'd argue even more, especially in the day and age we're in, but that's neither here nor there. So let's begin. We're going to start in an easy pose, seated, hands on the knees, and lifting up through our spines. If you are someone who has posture issues, maybe you work at a computer or at a desk for an extended amount of time, I'll invite you to squeeze the shoulder blades together, the scapulas together, to really pronounce that arch, because that is going to correct some posture. Sitting up nice and tall, we're going to take 3 cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Really focusing on grounding down through all 4 corners of our sit bone. The legs are grounded to the floor. The feet are rooted down and ready to begin. And we are standing very tall, amazing. We're going to take seated cat-cow. So inhaling, squeezing those shoulder blades together as you slightly lean forward, glancing up towards the ceiling, pulling that chest forward. And then as you exhale, round, contract through the spine, tucking the chin to the chest, leaning back ever so slightly, taking that another 3 times. Really focusing again on that grounded aspect. So if you feel like you're a little wobbly, really rooting down through the base here, through the legs, through the sit bone, as you take these postures. We'll do one more round, inhaling. And exhale. Very, very good, amazing. Bring yourself back to that seat. And from here, we're gonna do a couple shoulder stretches. So we're going to do a right angle, right in front of the face, with the right arm. Left arm is going to come under the right elbow, binding once or twice, looking here. And you're gonna hold the shoulder stretch for just 3 deep breaths. This may look familiar. This is about half an eagle pose, and eagle pose is arms binded and legs binded. But today we're just doing a seated version of eagle, so 2 more. If you want to make this pose a little bit more challenging, you can inhale, lift the arms up as you gaze up towards the hand. And then when you're done with your breath, exhaling, removing or releasing, shake it out a little bit, maybe do some shoulder circles, and switch sides. So left arm in front, right arm binds once or twice. Invitation again to take that more challenging posture if you would so choose to. Exhale, release, drop, and maybe do shoulder circles the opposite way this time. Really good work. Inhaling, bringing the hands up, 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 overhead, and we are going to, I'll turn so you can see a little bit better. Take the right hand, lower it down to the mat, left hand comes up and over. 3 deep breaths here. Very good. Inhaling to come up, big stretch, and this time keeping the sit bone in the bottom exactly as it is. We're going to exhale, walk the hands forward, easy fold forward here. 3 deep breaths. Grounded down again to that sit bone. Inhaling to walk those hands in. We're going to interlace the fingers behind us, if you can. If not, you can just keep the fingers behind you. And we're going to take a little mini shoulder chest stretch. So we're going to interlace the fingers however which way you'd like. You're going to imagine pulling them, or that something is pulling them away from your spine as you pull the scapulas together, arching the chest forward here. 2 deep breaths. And exhaling to release. And sitting right back up. This time, left hand on the floor, right hand up and over. 3 deep breaths. And you can kind of use your hand for leverage. You can have a block under this arm, this hand. You can kind of bend into that elbow as much or as little as you'd like to get yourself deeper into that motion, if you would so choose. 1 more. As always, it's up to you. Inhaling to come up. We are then going to extend our legs down towards the long edge of our mat, either top or bottom, you choose, doesn't really matter. And from here, we're going to take just a simple fold forward. So hands are up. We're going to exhale and reach, grab what we can grab. We're going to let the back round a little bit. We're really focusing our attention on the stretch of the lower extremities, so the stretch of the legs. So right now, I can reach about my toes. I'm going to glance forward here in this fold forward, and we're going to hold this pose for about 5 to 6 deep breaths, about 20 to 25 seconds if you want to count instead. And we're going to see if over time we kind of fall deeper into this pose. So a couple more breaths. Imagining that like trees, the legs are the roots, we are grounded down. You're stable, and we can remind ourselves of that at any time we choose. Kind of feeling like I'm making a little bit more space, so I'm going to keep leaning ever so passively. One more deep breath here. Very good. Release the hands, let them fall from the grab or from the grip, and just inch by inch come, pull yourself up, bring fingers behind with hands facing towards your sit bone. Flex the toes upwards towards the head. We're going to take a countering pose, a counter pose. That's what I was looking for. And when you're ready, inhale, push the hips up. Reverse plank. Lift, 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 lift. Hold here, just 2 more breaths. Don't let that neck drop. Try to hold it in line with the spine, and exhale, come down. Very good. Sitting right back up. Left leg is going to bring its foot right above the knee. And this looks like a tree pose, but a seated tree pose. So once we're here, we're going to, again, inhale, lift up, and we're going to take that fold forward again. So we're going to fold forward, really letting one leg at a time get the love of the stretch. So you might find that you're able to go deeper now. You want to keep those hips nice and square. Again, the back is more passive. We're really focusing our attention on the stretch of the legs. So flexing those toes towards the head, 2 more breaths. Very good. And again, we're going to release the grip and gently bring ourselves all the way up. Left hand is going to come towards the right corner behind you on the mat. Right? Yeah. And then from here, you're going to lift up through the hips, bringing yourself onto that shin. Right foot places itself on the mat. Right hand comes up and over, baby wild thing. Big stretch here. 3 deep breaths if you can. Really pressing and pushing those hips forward. Stretching through that right leg. 1 more. And exhale, come return to that seat and switch sides. Left leg out. Right foot is in on the side right above the knee. Inhale to lift and exhale, hold. Maybe noticing here if one side is a little tighter than the other. And again, no judgment, just notice it. 2 deep breaths, nice passive through that back. Allowing ourselves to be aware of any sensations. Very good. Gently releasing the grip. Inhaling, vertebrae by vertebrae, nice and slow. Right hand. That was the left hand on the inside. Now, the right hand. And on my right and left. Top left corner of the mat. We're going to come back into that baby wild thing. So lifting up. Left hand up and over, really stretching into those hips. Coming up onto the right shin. Left foot is on the floor. 3 deep breaths here. And lowering back down to the mat. Very well done. We're going to take this right leg and we're going to extend it out like so. We're going to take a staff pose. So flexing the toes towards the head, hands on the thighs, seated nice and tall. Just coming here to take a bit of a breather, take a moment. 3 deep breaths. As now you're grounding down through the heels, the calves, the back of body of the legs, the sit bones, treating all of this like our roots, and we're just firmly pressing those into the earth, reminding ourselves again that despite the chaos of the world, we are centered, grounded, and we are good. There's a card in tarot, if you like tarot, that is called the wheel. And they say that with the wheel, and any wheel, that it is not the axis, it is not the hub of the wheel that is spinning. It is everything around the wheel, right? So us and who we are is not what is out of balance or is not what's ungrounded. It is just feeling that way and feeling those influences by everything around us. So reminding ourselves again that we are that axis, that hub, that we are grounded, we're good. Every now and then does us a lot of good. From here, we're going to take this right leg, bring it up. So right foot on the mat. We're going to bring it over to the left outer edge of this left leg. Right hand is going to wrap around. Left hand is going to wrap around. Right hand is going to come behind. Left toes are flexing towards the head. Seated twist, 3 deep breaths. Very good. And then returning back to center, taking this right ankle, placing it just above that left knee. We're going to inhale again and reach. Really getting another beautiful stretch into this back body of the leg. One more breath. Very good. And then keeping that right ankle where it is, left foot is going to come up onto the mat. Hands are going to come behind you and you're just going to sway. You're going to move your hips from left to right and just open them up, trying to bring your chest as close to that ankle as possible. I said ankle this time, not angle. One more breath. Very good. And then on the next inhale, push. Let that leg fall down. Undo it. Switch sides. Right foot comes to the left foot comes to the outer right edge of the right leg. Right hand wraps around, left hand comes behind. 3 deep breaths. Very good. Coming back to center. Left ankle. I cannot talk today, see what I'm saying? Left ankle comes right above the right knee. Inhaling up and exhaling to fold. Flexing those toes, really getting a nice deep stretch again. I can never do enough leg stretch. I mean, we are so tight after sleeping, sitting all day. I feel like these stretches are just, along with hip stretches, so fantastic for those of you who work from home, sit down a lot. Even if you have a very physical job, the legs and the hips really take on a lot of the stress. I mean, we know the neck and shoulders do. You can inhale, release, but the hips and legs too. From here, bringing that right foot up onto the mat, bringing the chest as close to that left ankle as possible. We're just going to sway back and forth. Just a couple breaths here, flexing those left toes. And then again, releasing the right leg and the left. We're going to make our way down to lay down onto the mat. Last couple poses here. We're going to keep our backs on the mat in a reclined position as our feet are firmly planted on the mat. And from here, we are going to, on the next exhale, bring the feet into the hands or the ankles, whatever you can reach, pants of your leg of your pants, jeez. Knees are going to come into the armpits, happy baby. Pressing that back into the mat, really getting a nice massage, using the hands to give leverage, to pull those knees in deeper, really opening up through those hips. I like to roll back and forth if I can. You don't have to. I just think it provides a really beautiful massage here. There we go. And then from here, gently lowering the legs back down to the mat. And you have an option here. You can either bring your feet to the width of the mat and let the knees fall into each other, bringing the arms up overhead and holding this pose, making sure that lumbar, the lower back, is pressed into the mat. Or if you want more of a hip opener today, you can bring the soles of the feet to touch, letting the knees splay open on either side. Again, making sure we're pressing that lower back into the mat. Come into your reclined butterfly. This is our last pose of the day. We're not going to really do a shavasana per se, but I am going to walk you through a mini meditation on grounding as you lay here in this pose. And you're more than welcome to come to corpse pose at any time you like. But at this time, I will ask that we start to ground down and close the eyes and really bring our awareness to the work we did today. So when it comes to grounding in life, in chaos, there is not much that we can do in terms of controlling what happens around us. However, the power that we create, the power that you created today, comes from understanding and acknowledging that, but also knowing that you have the power to ground yourself at any time. So you have the power to, in a world of chaos, take a moment, take a minute to center, check in, ground down, and sit with yourself and say, I am here now. I am stable in my foundations. What happens outside of that happens, and I will get through it because I am grounded, rooted, and stable. And that's what I want you to imagine right now. I want you to imagine a time in your life where things may have been a little bit crazy around you, but you stayed grounded, centered, and focused. I mean, that time could be right now on your mat. In a world of chaos and a world of, things maybe not be going right, or things are a little crazy, hectic, or unknown, you showed up on a mat today and you reminded yourself that you are grounded despite all of those things happening. So just take a few minutes, a few moments, think back to those moments and think about how it felt to be reminded that you are here now, grounded and secure. And I will let you know when it's time to wake. Gently begin to bring yourself back to consciousness. You can gently move the muscles in the face, blinking the eyes, wiggling the fingers and toes. And when you are comfortable, you can reach hands up overhead, stretching all the way through your fingers and toes. Big a stretch, like you're just waking up first thing in the morning, refreshed and ready to take on the day. And as you are ready, you can roll over to one side, sit up, and we will close our practice. Inhale, bringing your hands up overhead, harnessing that grounding energy that you created for yourself today. And know that as you close your hands together, you can access it at any time. And as you exhale, lowering that all down to heart center, understand that it never leaves. And bow forward. Namaste, meaning it is done. And it can't be undone because you always have it in you. Thank you again for flowing with me today. I hope you take this grounding energy into the rest of your day, your weeks, your months, and always remember that you have the power to be grounded, and you are grounded at any time you may need it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for flowing with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.